U.S. food insecurity may be significantly higher than what's been reported. And who and what should we be preparing for right now that will help us, insulate us, and shield us from any coming power shifts that we know are right in front of us? And two scriptures at the end of this video, hang on, that are going to remind us and encourage you on why we should be thinking about preparing for others too. Good morning and welcome to the Shielded Prepper. This channel is committed to providing local, regional, domestic, and international news that are catered to the prepared mind, the mind that has eyes that are open and ears that love to hear information that will bless them and help protect them as this power struggle ebbs and flows in our world. And I smell great today. I have cologne on. I'm ship-shape. I had my hair combed, and deep below, I'm wearing overalls. Today's a honeydew list, and I'm going to be working for my wife. So before I get to work for her, I desired to get to work with you. This is out of a journal that was written by USC in one of their research departments, and it was posted on medicalexpress.com. Really cool information on there. I really haven't spent a ton of time consuming much of their content, yet this article is truly interesting. And it starts out with rates of food insecurity in the U.S. may be significantly higher than surveys in the past have suggested. What USC, and I'm going to summarize this rather than going into this yet. First, let's define food insecurity. Food insecurity is defined as not having access to enough food to maintain an active and healthy lifestyle for all members of a household. If you've ever been hungry and not sure where your next meal was coming from for a period of time, short or long, that's an uncomfortable feeling. And many more Americans are experiencing this right now. We're hearing a big uptick in people researching intermittent fasting to save money because they're struggling with food insecurity. This is important for us to know. USC was collecting data weekly rather than these USDA census surveys or surveys that they would put out where they're posting an annual number. USC was doing this weekly in Los Angeles County and was finding that it was so significantly higher than anything that the USDA was putting out that they were calling for, we are ill prepared to manage this problem that is brewing and it's growing and it will not decrease. This will only increase for the next period of time. We must ensure that we as heads of house or as established families, we must be thinking about others. It's very important that as we prepare, number one, we have to put the oxygen mask on ourselves first, then everyone else. So for your family, if you don't have your oxygen mask on, if your preparedness inside of your home is lacking, I encourage you today, you must begin. It must not cease. You must continue to do this in perpetuity. This is insurance for your family that will not be covered by AAA or by State Farm. This is going to be only covered by you. In the description area, I'm going to include a link to the scarce items list. In this list, it goes over 4 specific categories that if you give yourself 5 minutes to even skim through this, you'll understand areas where you're deficient. And if you're just starting, it gives you a simple roadmap to identify how you can improve the shield for your family, how you can stand behind this shield and give yourself an opportunity to think. So if an emergency ever happened, you don't have to run out into the mayhem that potentially could be out there. And that's the truth. And while we're preparing for our families, we must also be ensuring that we're preparing for others around us. Scripture says, Deuteronomy 15 verse 11 says, "For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand wide." Ready? Unto 3 things. It says, unto thy brother, unto thy poor, and unto thy needy in the land. The poor will never cease out of the land. The poor is a group. The poor doesn't just represent they don't have food or they don't have money. These are also poor in spirit. We can have extremely wealthy people. And this journal entry actually talked about the fact that six-figure earners are going unreported, and there's many that are walking the line where they're paying their bills, they're paying debt, and they're not eating, making over $100,000 a year. The poor will always be with us. They'll never cease from our land. That was verse 11, and in the same chapter, a couple of verses before, it kind of expands on it, and I desired to read it to you. This is verse 7. If there is among you a poor man of your brethren, of your family, someone who is of your family, within any of the gates in your land, this is your land, which the Lord your God is giving you. So really it's his, giving it to you to care for and to provide for, and for you to use your eyes to see where there's need in your local community. You shall not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your poor brother. Be looking with your eyes open as this thing rolls off for many of us that are know people that are not prepared properly. They don't even have enough food for a couple of weeks. They don't have any backup water. They don't have a generator. They don't have any way to heat their home or to cook food. They don't have any protection. They live paycheck to paycheck. These are the ones that, for those of us that have eyes to see, they're going to come to us. And we better have an opportunity to minister to them and to help them to a point. This is going to get bad. Prep. Have extra food and think about others as well. And you shall open your hand wide to him and willingly lend sufficient for his need, whatever he needs, period. Sufficient for his need and whatever he needs. This is difficult to digest because it's tough to give people $50. Have you ever walked up to a homeless person and given them $50? That's an uncomfortable give, because if you're committed to all these other things, whether in your local church and you're out and about and you support other nonprofits, or you're giving a different resource in different areas, and then you see a need required and you've handed a 50, those ones sting a little bit. You know who the poor is? The poor belong to Jesus Christ. He is pulling their spirit closer to him. He's teaching them. He's expanding their understanding of who he is in their life at that moment. And he's also using the poor to help us and to teach us and to pull us up so that we understand how his generosity has blessed our land that he gave us. So we must be looking for ways to bless the poor and needy around us. The land will never cease of them. The government will never fix it. This is all going to come back to the local community. Enjoy this opportunity right now, this calm potentially before the storm. If it never happens, then, you are set up and you've got loads of food and you can help others with that. Check out the scarce items list. Thank you for being here today. Let your heart be encouraged. Look for your brother, your family in your local community that may be suffering, your extended family that may be suffering. If you have an opportunity to help them and to stand in the gap, do it. It'll bless you. Have a great day, guys. Shielded Preppers out.